And we are live. So, welcome back to another installment of the Authority Hour, where we are intent on turning your digital footprint into your greatest asset. We're doing it in real time and talking through some of the strategies that we are implementing to turn our digital footprints into our greatest assets. And a piece of that is like the audience component of it. So Ronnie, during pre-production, you were just mentioning something that was completely invaluable, which is, I know for myself, I oftentimes, because I have such a passion and like deep gravitational pull to all of the things that I do. And oftentimes those things that I'm talking about don't resonate with the common person. And I could see their eyes glazing over when I get into like really talking my shit. Well, on this platform, we get the ability to kind of speak more freely because you know where a lot of folks are spending time talking about other people, we're talking about ideas, we're talking about growth, we're talking about how opportunity translates into new realities. So the things that we would naturally kind of hold back on when it comes to talking to somebody that isn't driven in that same kind of way, those things get pulled back, and that becomes a disservice to our audience to do that when we're filming our episodes. So like, before we move on, you got a thought on that?
Yeah, ideas, strategy, and execution. My name is Ronnie Haskins. I own RH Auto Brokers, and this is Jesse Bullock, the owner of Bullseye Consulting. That's who we are. So, yeah. So, thank you for following us and showing up to the channel. So, like, you're talking about when I'm in a room talking to other people about ideas, strategy, and execution, and they gloss over. The thing for me, man, is like, protect that room. Like, I need that room to be resonating with things, like, because the danger is I'm in a room where the idea, strategy, and execution are a lot lower. And so, or not to be mean, like, or they just don't have any interest in it. Like, they're not interested in growth or the authority hour, turning your digital footprint to your greatest asset. Like, it doesn't matter if it's going to make $1 million or not. And so, do you spend your time focused on convincing and uplifting, or do you spend your time finding a different room where you're actually welcome to be in? So I think that's why we do a podcast together every week, because you bring me different energy. Like, I hope I bring you some of this energy. Like, yeah. Let me give you guys some basic fundamentals of what I'm talking about. Jesse and I talked about this once. The next week, he had it put together and we were live. That talk turned into action. Momentum is built, and here we go. And so what he expects from me is show up on time, be ready to go, lights, camera, action, let's deliver. Not, I don't want to think about it, I don't want to do it, I'm not sure if it's working, we don't know if we're going to get paid, like all of these things. It's like, dude, that's not what we're here to do. We're here to actually learn and grow and build this thing so that we can get better. And if you're joining us early, that's great, but one day it will be monetized, I guarantee you.
100%. Because like I mentioned to Ronnie during pre-production, like Ronnie has been doing this for so long. And what I mean by this, or quantifying this,
Trying to
is
build a
business.
digital authority.
No, ain't no trying. You've been building a successful business for a long time.
My business.
Now, obviously, success is subjective.
Yeah.
But when I say successful, you have had a brand within this community for multiple decades,
Yeah. Facts.
right?
Yep.
So
I have
in
a brand.
that, like you wake up and piss excellence. Like the things that you speak about are tried and tested. So it's like we cannot be holding back those gems. And it's kind of the same thing on my side. Because to your point, there are so many, I think it's almost like a societal thing. Like as a society are like distracted by nonsense that doesn't generate any value whatsoever. So
My gosh,
when being
Sarah.
yeah, bruh. The
I like it
TikTok
too. I like getting in the comments and reading that crap. It's entertaining.
it is, but like when you in your free time, like your mind is still on what it's on.
I'll be
And
playing a video game with another screen working on work stuff.
exactly, exactly, exactly. So the one thing that I want to add on to what you said a moment ago is when it comes to when you recognize that you're not in the right room because people are wanting to talk about other people and gossip, then it's like it's not necessarily about getting into another room. Like we are building another room right now in real time,
Yeah.
and people are going to decide if they want to be in that room or not. And that's cool. Like if you want to be here, we love it. Like we want you to be. We want to build community because we're going to ultimately grow together as we build a dedicated audience of folks that are committed to the same values and intent. We're gonna all grow together. So the folks that don't want to grow, that's cool. Like you got a whole bunch of places that you can go to and not grow. Like just by existing, you can not grow. That's cool. But if you looking to actually grow a brand that has its own value proposition, then this may be a place for you or not. It's cool.
We want people, you said the magic word, which I've been doubling down on that this week. I want people in the room who want to be in the room. If you're bringing me friction, I'm talking about if you're working with my brick and mortar business or you're a vendor or whatever, like if you're bringing me friction and reasons that we shouldn't be doing business together, I'm going to believe you and I'm going to figure it out quickly, a lot quicker than I did 3 years ago, So I don't need to convince you to be in this room. It's totally fine. It's free country. But if you want to be in this room, we want you in the room. It'll be easy. Challenges will be overcome together. We will learn together. We'll grow together. We'll prosper together.
100%. 100%. So speaking of that, um, this last week, well, this week rather. So I just got back from Greensboro, North Carolina, where I completed the last week of the orientation. And as I shared last week, the way that this consulting firm that I've been contracted for works is they have an entire team of experts behind the scenes that are at my disposal to maximize the value that I'm able to bring back to my clients. So understanding how all of those resources work and function was the basic premise behind the 2 weeks that I've just gone through. Well, in that last week, this week rather, we had an incredible conversation about marketing and what that looks like to kind of be effective in it. And in that, I wanted to bring some of those conversations to the platform today, beginning with the red flags that nobody talks about. There's all of these different small details that we can overlook as business owners that will kick us in the behinds over time. And one of those things being when you think about a website, one of the challenges that people will run into is they won't actually own their domain. So when they don't own the domain to their website and now they're looking to make updates to it, they find out from the person that they're trying to pay to update their website that it can't be updated because you don't own the domain.
I've
So
lived that life where, or you have to pay, you have to wait and pay somebody to go update it. And business moves with speed, and like, you're right. I had that problem up until about 4 years ago. I completely control my entire CMS. If I want to change some on my website, I can have it changed in 30 seconds.
Yeah. And talk about the value of that in comparison to the latter.
I don't want to confuse it with should you hire somebody. I'm not saying don't hire anybody. You know what I mean? This is not the argument. I'm not arguing do everything in your business so you ain't got to pay nobody. I'm not saying that. What I've become a fan of is I want to know enough about it, not even to be an expert, so then I can know what to hire. I find myself disadvantaged when I'm hiring marketers or whatever, and I'm not up to speed on everything they're doing. So I feel like it's my responsibility to learn as much as I can so that I can hire the best people to execute and deliver the result that I'm looking for. So if you don't own your domain, you're right. I see in the notes we have here, it could be listed under your cousin's email address. It's like you're playing with fire because your domain is not only the website they go to, it's also connected to the emails that you send. All of that domain has an ecosystem that actually works together and breathes together. And you can improve your email deliverability throughout the day, or you can be detrimental to it. So I think this is fantastic that you put this up here for us to talk about today, because your first thing is like, do you own your domain? Second thing is, can you log into your Google My Business profile? It's like, bro, that's huge. Like, as far as Google, like, don't want to stop yourself short and start arguing about, well, Google's going away. It's like, it's not going away. It's transforming. It's changing. So that Google My Business page is owned by Google. You put data into it every week about what you do, and what else do? They own Gemini. So Gemini is reading that, and that's going to eventually train Gemini to tell people who you are. So right now, if you Google something, it starts out giving you what it says, and then they got the clickable links that are below. It's happened overnight and nobody even sees it. Do you want to click on a link anymore, or do you want it to tell you what the answer is? Right. You know what I mean? Like, I am already used to it. If I see the links, I'm like, I don't want a link. I want to click on the answers. And so the reason why Jesse put that in there is like your Google My Business profile for your business is Google owns it. Whatever you put in there is what it's going to read, and it's going to develop an AI generated answer to tell people who are looking for you. So go and own it.
Absolutely. And the other component of that is the authority that comes with having your domain, obviously owning that domain, but having it to begin with. And what I mean by that is when I walk into a room and I'm presenting myself as someone that provides professional services, and I hand them my card, or I have them scan my digital card, and they look at it and it says that my email address is bullseyeconsulting@gmail.com. That says something about my brand. Like, people read into that accordingly. There is a difference of when my email says info@bullseyern.com versus at gmail.com or at Yahoo or whatever that the provider is. So all of these things lend to truly having brand authority within the digital space.
Michael Jordan, dude. So people argue the Gmail email thing because, well, I don't need that to get my business. It's when you're leveling up in business, it's a game of doubles, and you're trying to get better and improve all the time. As you level up, the competition gets stiffer and stiffer and stiffer. I found out long after I was a Michael Jordan fan, years after he retired, I read a book, I think it was by Tim Grover, and they were talking about Michael Jordan doing curls. No basketball players work on biceps. They don't work on biceps because they're kind of irrelevant for playing basketball. You shoot ball with your triceps, and you need to be streamlined. Your body, the basketball body is a frame that's very, very elastic and whatnot. So being big and bulky is not a thing. But Michael Jordan specifically worked on his curls to build him up like a half inch so he would mentally punk you when he was on the court. He was like, well, okay, move this faster. What can I change? I can change this little bitty thing. And when you see me or you get ready to defend me, Michael would be like this, and you'd be like, oh my God, like you physically pause. Like this dude, he's huge, like he didn't even use them. But he knew that little bit of an edge mattered. So I bring it back to what we're talking about. If you have a Gmail address right now, no problem. Write down and plan how you can afford to move up to a Google Business Workspace or whatever in order to get your branded content, because you're gonna run into that challenge at some point, or you're gonna wonder why you're not getting the clients you want, and it might be because of your authority.
Absolutely. And when we think about the concept of investment versus cost, so if you look at purchasing a domain of for $20, and you pay the annual renewal or whatever the case may be, and then the Google Suite account, which is like $10 a month or something like that. If you look at that as a cost, then it's it's short-sighted. When you look at it as an investment, where you're thinking, what does this return me over the long haul? So how many people are not going to take a step further because it's a Gmail, versus those that are going to move to the next phase just because you've established even more credibility in your brand, because you have invested in presenting yourself presenting your brand the right way. So if you just looking at it through the lens of this is going to cost me X, Y, and Z, then again, that's short-sighted. But when you're looking at it through the lens of I'm going to invest in my company by purchasing this domain and by having this Google Suite account so that I show up the way that I need to show up as a professional within my space, two completely different perspectives. But it's vital to, kind of understand that.
It's no different than the sport coat. Like I always show up in it. It's like I made that decision in 2005. You know why? I wanted to find higher net worth clients. So in 2005, 21 years ago, I decided I need to put a sport coat on. And it just changes everything. Like, how many people will see me and go, oh, you always wear a suit. Dude, I literally I got on jeans right now, but I always have on a sport coat. I call it business casual. That's just my shtick. It's business casual, and it's also my brand. Professionalism is a brand. Like, and those little turns you make, they have exponential returns over time. I love it. I love what you're saying, because like I'm like, hell yeah, man. Like, go spend that $20. Stop stepping over $5 to pick up $1. It's like, dude, you can do that for so long. And if you got the ability to do it now. Make it hurt a little bit, give yourself a reason to get out of bed. Spend that $20.
Exactly. And that's a great point that you make there when we talk about investment, because if you're thinking about it in the context of, all right, so now I'm going to have this bill for $10 a month.
I got to get my ass out of bed.
Yeah.
No crap, dude. Like, yeah. What do you think the pressure of this building brings me, bro? Like, it's like, I got to get out of bed. Lights don't come on by themselves. You ever heard it takes energy to make the phone ring?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You got to get up. You got to move. And you need a why. It's like, yeah.
Absolutely. Which then brings us, like, we've been having this conversation about AI, and we're going to continue to have it because it is foundationally shifting the way that the world operates. Some detrimental, but for our purposes as entrepreneurs, if we are not leveraging all of the capability that comes along with AI, it is nothing short of entrepreneurial abuse. Like, we are abusing ourselves. It's hustling backwards. When I think about working with my clients and what the process has looked like over time. So prior to AI, in order for me to draft a job description or to draft a standard operating procedure or a checklist or what have you, those organizational structure documents that creates consistent outputs regardless of who's doing what. In the past, I had to get all of the information, write it, like ask the questions. I had to write it down. And mind you, when I'm having a conversation with a client, I'm not going to pick up everything because I can only process at the rate in which my mind works. And when
Brain data
I'm
rate. Yeah.
right. So when it's like when I'm listening and trying to write at the same time, I'm not going to get it all.
No, you
So
can only focus on actually what you're writing.
right.
Yeah. Sucks. It sucks.
Absolutely. So that's what my process was before AI. Like I had to, whatever that I could catch while I was writing is what I could work with. Now with recording and then taking transcripts, plugging them into AI, literally. Like, so I met with a client earlier this morning, and we were talking about that because the SOP that I put together for him is like, Jesse, like, this has been a struggle of mine for the past 2.5 years. That I got all of this stuff up here in my head, and it's like, how do I train somebody on that? And now he's reading all of the things that are the differentiator between him having to do the thing versus him being able to delegate and hold someone accountable for doing that thing. And it's just like it's all right here in black and white now. Well, that's because I leverage AI the way that I can be leveraging it to its fullest extent. So when I'm recording these conversations, these meetings that we're having, and I'm able to extrapolate the transcripts, and then I have the prompt because I've trained my AI to understand the assignment, and I give it the transcript, and then out comes an SOP, out comes a job description, and it's not some random, it's just sourced random information from the internet. It's pulling all of the things that I've asked it to pull because the transcript is full of the questions that I asked to pull the information out of my client. And in the process of me being able to pull all of that invaluable information from my client, I then can feed that into the AI again in conjunction with the prompting. And now it spits out this product just like that. And now my client has the ability to train someone to do things the way that he does things. So now he can do other things.
Yeah, it's amazing. I think, what people need to also understand is like, okay, I've been in business 30 years, right? But you can't just go get an AI and say, hey, I want to build auto brokers just like Ronnie Haskins. I mean, I think you can, right? You can go to AI and figure that out. However, I'm going to run circles around you because you made a point. Like I'm using real data to use AI to help speed me up, not fake it or manipulate the system or trick people. That's what I find most fascinating. It's like the things I couldn't accomplish before. I'm one of those guys that I need SOPs and all of those things. And now that AI is live, we have been able to get this stuff out of my head and get it in writing. Because, dude, like, honestly, it doesn't light me up to sit here and type out stuff. I'm an actual published author. Pound on my chest. I got published a long time ago when I was in college, but like, it was just a Piedmont journal. It wasn't a big deal. But I can write, but do you know how long that takes? Like, I'd be like, I'll get the SOP done in the next decade if I do one sentence a month. Like, it makes my skin crawl to sit down and want to type that stuff up. I did a blog today. I made a video speaking to the camera, recorded myself, which I'm fine with that. I don't mind making videos. Then I took the transcript of the video. Now I can write a blog. It's me. I was talking and I was like, hey, turn this into a blog for me. SEO, and that's it. SEO ready long tail blog. It's like, dude, it wrote it out specific. It's published right now. It's already gone out on social. And it is really me. It's not something that is fake or made up. It is what came out of my head. And now it has all the right SEO meta tags and everything. Dude, within 20 minutes. So if you're going to fight against that and try to compete with me, good luck.
For sure. For sure. Because that 30 years of experience is what is being fed into the AI.
Right.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not, you can't fake it. Like, At least I don't think you can. You might need to build something. I think people are tricking and scamming. But like, I find that if you're trying to build an authority for your business, if you're watching this, you have a brand that's up here that is yours. And you can use AI to turn it into whatever you want.
100%. And to that point, the way that traditional SEO has worked, that drove traffic to your website. Well, when it comes to these LLMs, that is a different kind of and LLM is the large language model, which is like the baseline for all of the AI platforms. So in that, excuse me, in order for the LLMs to actually be able to find you, you know, it takes it's certain kind of tricks of the trade that flow into that. So Ronnie mentioned, I don't know if I can't remember if it was last episode or the episode before last, that one of his leads came in because they found them in Chat GPT.
Right.
Well, the way that happens by having captions in the videos or the content that you post, and then having a caption that, you know, speaks or reinforces the what's in the video. All of those things factor into the LLMs being able to find your content, and it just builds up your credibility. The more content that's out, the more that it has to reference. So when somebody is on Chat GPT with research and auto broker type stuff or information rather, Ronnie's going to pull up because there's so much content for the LLM to be able to pull. So it's pulling all of these videos and it's analyzing the captions that are engraved or embedded into the video along with the caption that accompanies it. So all of that is building up his online profile. So without spending a dollar in ad bucks, the LLMs are finding that information. And that piece is so vitally important that, you know, when we're putting together our content, that we're doing all of the things that we can to maximize the reach of the content. And as AI is really demanding its space within the overall marketplace, how we show up is by and large attributed to, you know, having those strategies of, you know, having the captions in the content and having not the captions, the what is it, the text within the video. There you go. Having all of that information accessible for the LLMs to be able to pull back.
And you have to fight and put up a big, Myron Golden's, we have to put up a fight against small thinking. I'll say it one more time. We have to, and I'll explain why. We have to put up a fight against small thinking. Anytime you're using the word or. I've talked to so many people like, I'm not on TikTok right now because of this. China might get banned. It's like, I'm gonna focus on my YouTube later. Listen to what Jesse just said, the long language models. I don't know this, large language models. I don't know this to be true or a fact, but I can speak from common sense. Google owns YouTube, Gemini, Notebook LM. They have multiple AIs, right? And do you think they're talking to each other? So if you're not making content on YouTube, you're taking away the opportunity for Gemini to go find you. Google's not, Gemini, I don't believe they're going to go search Facebook for Ronnie's information. It's like, why? You know, like, put the information on as many platforms as you can to give yourself a shot at being found. Or if you are going to fight and use small thinking, then spend $50,000 a month and I'll shut up. Period. Like, go ahead and market yourself then at 50 grand a month, and eventually you'll get there. I joined Substack. I'm on Substack. I don't even know how it works. I've posted like 5 articles. I'm like, I got to post these articles. And then all of a sudden somebody followed me, I'm like, wow, who the hell is reading my bullcrap article on leasing versus buying? It's like, if I'm interested in it, there's an audience for it. somebody somewhere with this globe is like, yeah, that's interesting. I want to know more. I'm like, cool. So I've just given myself another opportunity to rise just because I turned on another app and pasted it over there. It's crazy, man. Like I feel like the fight and the small thinking thing is what we have to continuously do in order to be successful.
Absolutely. So when did you start your Substack?
I don't know. Like I was just posting stuff and I was like, Substack. But so I was so used to adopting things. When I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, download, made the account and posted right away. I was like, I don't need to be sold on this.
Right.
I instantly saw Gary Vaynerchuk on there and he was already saying, this is amazing. What if Gary Vaynerchuk is saying it? I don't need to go, well, you know what? I'm going to research this and make sure it's right for my brand and my followers would appreciate it. I'm like, bro, your followers don't give a damn. Like, post it, send the email, put it out there. I have to, by the way, me and Jesse have to fight small thinking. I'm not preaching
Right.
to you. We're talking to each other.
Right. Right. That's a fact. No, and like I'm glad to hear the Substack piece because I've been thinking about that as well. I know we spoke about our school community last week and we'll continue to talk about that as well. But I've been thinking about the Substack component of it as well and how that will or can factor into the overall community that I'm building because I want my intent is to establish layers upon layers upon layers of value for the community that I establish. So, school has its place in that. And, to your point, I didn't hear it from Gary Vee, but I've heard it from too many other prominent people, uh, the value of a Substack. So, like, I've been looking at it myself, like, all right, so where
It
does
does
this
a
fit?
lot too, dude. I posted like I'm just right now. I'm focused on videos up to 3 minutes. I just haven't had the time. I haven't made the time to do long form video like 10, 15 minutes. Um, but I've posted like 3 or 4 videos, and then I'll post a written form because people like to read too. People digest things different ways. Like some watch the video, some like to read or whatever. But um, it took my 3-minute video and turned it into like 5 different downloadable clips without me paying a dime. I was like, damn, it AI'd them. It was like, here's the copy, here's the stuff, share them if you want to. I was like, this is crazy. Substack's doing all of that.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
now I got multiple videos in there that I could actually go back and post the little 30-second clips or whatever that it made for me. I'll have to get back to you. I haven't even followed anybody on Substack except Gary Vee. I just haven't had any time.
You know what? It may be beneficial for us to create a Substack for this
I mean,
podcast.
the word is and.
Yeah. 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 No, I think that would actually be a good idea, man, because we're using the school communities within our respective businesses and then to explore this Substack piece together for like really providing the value to the authority hour, which that's going to be the next thing that we got to figure out. Like, what do we call our audience, right? Like, who are we collectively? So we'll use AI. That'll be another exercise for another episode of what our community is actually called. But to deliver the maximum value to our audience, I think that Substack piece would be a great value add for
Okay.
sure.
Something we could look at.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So moving on to our next topic. So creating a spider web in which whenever that people find you, how does it get them back to the same or get them into the same pathway of them learning more and more about why they are in the right place or why they have found the right brand? And what I mean by that is, as we are releasing content on all of these different platforms and showing up in all of these networking rooms and doing all of the things in order to create brand awareness, having an intentional kind of spiderweb strategy that ensures that when they find out about you, it pushes them into the cycle of them learning more again about why they are in the right place.
Social proof.
Absolutely. There's the social proof element of it. There's the just providing clarity piece of it. Because when I met with another one of my clients this morning, and we were talking about the amount of jobs that dropped off of their job board, well, off of their lead board, they didn't convert over. And, talking about the causation of them dropping off. Well, the reason that they dropped off was because they weren't the ideal client to begin with. So, how are we putting content out there so that people can qualify themselves before they ever reach out? Because of all of those jobs that ended up dropping off, there was manpower allocated to servicing all of those leads, which is basically wasted time.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas when the lead is able to go in and learn enough about the brand for them to qualify or disqualify themselves, that is a lot of saved time. So
Yeah.
just adding some more context to that, or speaking in more layman's terms, when we are spending our time talking to a bunch of folks that are never going to convert into clients to begin with, like we pissing in the wind, as opposed to having a spider web created that they can go on their own path of qualifying themselves or disqualifying themselves as needing to be moved forward to the next phase of engagement, so that by the time that they actually reach talking to the person that's delivering the value, the lead has already done that work up front.
Yeah. I mean, and talking to the right people. Did you watch the Masters?
I didn't
Golf?
watch the rest. Nope, I missed it. What's up?
Have
What
you
were the
ever
takeaways?
seen an AMG Mercedes
Mm-hmm.
GT63 advertised on a commercial?
Oh,
You've seen the car.
yep.
Have you ever seen a commercial?
Mm-mm.
All right. Have you ever seen a Mercedes G-Wagon commercial?
No.
One more. Have you ever seen a Mercedes Maybach commercial?
Mm-mm.
All three of them were on the Masters, speaking directly to their clients. I was watching it, and I'm probably the only one in America that picked up on it that can't afford one, right? And I'm sitting there, and I was like, "Hold up, you're showing me a G-Wagon?" I was like, "Oh yeah, this is the Masters. I forgot. We're in Augusta. Like, it was around the green too. They strategic. It wasn't at the tee offs. It was around the green with the whole crowd, and they were like, "We'll be right back." And the G-Wagon, the GT63, and the Maybach, and I was like, "Do people realize these are $300,000 to $500,000 cars?" Like, no, but they are spending no time pissing in the wind trying to talk to people during an NBA game. You know what I mean? Don't be offended. I watch NBA, but we get McDonald's commercials. Ba 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 ba. I'm loving it. Like, I know. So what he's saying is like, you can talk to a lot of people about your product, but if you're spending the majority of your time trying to convince, a man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still. I get that from Napoleon Hill. I spent so many years trying to convince people that I'm the right option, knowing that I'm the right option. It's like, you know what? I need to I need to elevate my room so that I actually speak to the right clients, potential clients, so including your marketing and your brand and everything that you're putting out there. They spent no time. They didn't even put prices up on those commercials, dude. Not one. If you got to ask,
This ain't for you, player.
there was no 4,000 down, 400 a month. No, it was just like, check it out. It's got the diamond stitching. It's got this. I was like, yeah, all right, I know what that is. Okay. So I found that to be fascinating. That's the only place you see Rolex commercials too, is at Wimbledon. You know, they don't spend all week advertising, but they are all over Wimbledon. Everybody in there is wearing a Rolex. You know, it's fun. It's funny. They're talking directly to their audience, laser focused on that audience. So
Absolutely. God,
yeah,
that's brilliant, bro. Oh,
that's
that's brilliant.
awesome.
See, and that again is why we can't be filtered or buttoned up when on this here platform, because you watched the Masters and you saw that.
Yeah,
And I guarantee you there are the majority of folks that are listening to this that happen to see the Masters, they didn't see that. And the
they
people
saw a
that
cool car that they would never
Mhm.
think about acting on.
Yep. But understanding the strategy that goes behind that. The Mercedes knows the audience at a Masters.
It's like, and they probably sold a bunch of Maybachs and stuff.
Mhm.
They don't even care about selling them. They took orders. They're like, yeah, you want one? It'll be here in 6 months.
Yep.
We'll send the paperwork over. You know, it's like, yeah,
Yeah,
very unique
absolutely.
marketing.
Yes, 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 yes. So that spider web effect is really about how we are placing our brand, and as people enter the web, how we're directing them where we need them to go. Because the thing is, the people that were watching the Masters that saw those vehicles, they already understand the assignment and they're going to execute. Like they didn't need a bunch of prompting and bringing a bunch of attention to it or none of
Pricing,
that.
nothing.
None of that. Like they know who to talk to, and the people that know are going to follow that pathway and get them a new car.
Yep.
And those that don't, I wasn't talking to you. So it's
Fine.
cool.
Yeah, it's all good. It's no hate. It's just like, I get, yeah.
Like
When
that,
you're ready,
right?
holler at me.
That part. I'm here. Which
Mm,
then comes to this piece. Like this stuff flows effortlessly, truly. Like it's when we are, so going back to the same thing with the Masters, they're not trying to sell you a car.
no,
They're showing you an outcome.
that was the outcome. They had a dude in it putting his golf clubs in the back. It's like, that's the outcome. You want to look like this next weekend, teeing off with Tommy? 350,000.
They ain't selling a damn thing. Like we showing you. Gonna show you how to do this, son.
I've
Like
been working on this for a while. Like I've been, I believe so in my business, we offer you a result. We try to sell that result. You're not going to a dealership. You won't spend hours doing this. We'll be done talking in about 60 minutes. And your entire deal will be buttoned up. The direction of where we're going will be clear. And it resonates with the right people. I spent years trying to convince everybody to get in that bucket. And it almost killed me. It's still something I have to fight against because I like people and I know I can help them. But sometimes it's just not right, So I feel like this thing right here, sell the outcome of what your service or your product does, right? Yeah, that's just something like masterclass right there. People, when you're talking to me, like I've got the best product, it's like, well, that's great. Best golf club, right? Instead of talking about how straight I'm going to hit the ball, it's going to help alleviate your slice. It's durable. You can keep this one longer than most clubs, things like that. It's like, okay, that's awesome. Like that's the result I'm looking for. I want to hit the ball straight. Okay. Instead of it's made out of titanium, we have a laser driven process that we build it in. We ship them in from Guam. It's like nobody cares. Nobody cares about all that work. It's a lot of work you're doing in the background, but nobody cares. I want to know what happens when I swing that club. And then I will figure out how to afford it instead of making it cheaper. Like, no, that's the outcome I want. Oh man, how much does that cost? Oh, I got to figure that out. Interesting. I want that outcome. $1,000 golf club or whatever,
Because of what that $1,000 golf club delivers, or what they believe that it will deliver. And that comes through like self-reflection, and people got to arrive at that. And it's a matter of like how, as business owners, we help our intended audience to arrive at that outcome as effortlessly or efficiently as possible. So one of the things that we were talking about in depth this week, the Socratic method of asking questions. And so the lead consulting guy at the contracting company that I'm contracting with, this guy, I mean, if you ask him a question, he gonna shoot back 30 questions at you. And the thing is, like, none of the questions are nonsense. They all apply to whatever point it is that he's driving at. But the value in it is, by thinking through the answers to those questions that he's asking, you're able to envision the outcome. Like, you start to see the outcome yourself, as opposed to I'm just trying to present, like in sale mode. So sale mode is somebody asks you a question and then you just start going into all of the value, like value. Well, now you trying to sell, and people don't like being sold to. So as opposed to asking the questions. So his frame of reference is, there should be at least 8 questions to every statement that you're thinking to propose. So instead of making that broad statement that oftentimes is going to be met by a defensive barrier, because again, like we've spoken about on this program a couple of times, when a statement is made, on the other side, oftentimes it's just an inherent or conscious or unconscious processing of, who the hell are you to be telling me that?
You have no authority.
Right. So the questions deem that creates the true authority, because one must have a certain level of experience in order to ask certain questions. I can't ask you about a question about something that I don't know nothing about.
Yeah. You should probably have the answer to the question when you ask me.
Exactly. And that's, well, I'm glad you said that. And let me add that caveat in there, because that matters. We shouldn't be asking questions that we don't know the answer to. Like, we're asking questions to get the person on the other side to arrive at the statement.
It's not manipulation.
Right.
I mean, obviously you're going to have questions. What color do you like? You're going to have questions that you don't have the answer to, but like, as far as guiding someone to a win, you should already know how to get them there. So you got to ask them questions to get them to engage and let them understand, oh, I need you to help me get there. Yeah, you do. I knew that 30 minutes ago. I'm so happy that you decided to make that decision. That's tough. It's tough with my kids.
Yep.
What did I tell you before? By the time I sit down and talk with you about your car, within 30 seconds, I know I'm right. Whatever answer I have to solve your car problem, I am in fact correct and right. And I will stand on that. I'm like, yep. That doesn't mean I'm going to get your business, or you're going to work with me, or you're going to want to do what I think you should do. I have to articulate these things so that I can guide you to whatever outcome you're trying to achieve, and then see that I'm the best person to solve that problem. But the whole thing about right, like with my kids, it's like, I know I'm right about this damn situation here, but they fight me tooth and nail. They're making me a better damn salesperson. I'm like, golly, how do I get around this one? You should take the trash out. Like, I know I'm right. You're going to get punished. But they fight tooth and nail, like, just like customers.
Yeah.
You know what you're looking for, in my opinion, when you were talking, I feel like it's going to the dentist or the doctor. you know, you go to the doctor. I know some people fight with their doctor, but like for the most part, you agreed that they're the authority. You get in the room, he starts looking at your mouth, and he tells you, here's what I see, here's what we need to do. Hold on, dude, that ain't no cavity. How I know that's a cavity? I know what a cavity looks like. I don't think we need, let me see your treatment plan, because I might want to put my own treatment. It's like, dude, you don't really fight your dentist. That's a cavity. We need to fix it. Okay. I think that's the level of authority I'm looking for. It's all, by the time you talk to me, you're like, will you please work with me? I'm like, let's look at your problem, you know? And
I
check
know
your insurance to see if it'll cover this filling, you know?
100%. I know for sure that that's the level of authority that I'm striving for. And
Yeah,
like I won't be there until I'm there.
right.
Because,
I think it's great, though. That's a great goal.
right. Because honestly, I'm not the chasing type. It's just not in my character. So, and it's been a challenge as an independent operator, because I haven't grown my cash flow to the space yet to have the resources to do those things that I don't want to do, as far as like really pursuing people. Like I'm that's not me. Chasing people, that's not my thing. And I don't have folks to go chase people. So it's like, all right, well, how do I work around that?
Do you think it's valuable to chase?
No, I don't.
I
Because
found
if
it to be in the middle. Like, I wanted to talk more about that.
let's go.
So, like, I feel like I'm the same. Like, I don't want to chase you and convince you either, but I feel like it's something to be said. Like, whether, like, even if you're making digital content, like, I don't want to chase you. Like, I don't know if you can say what you said and make digital content, because in essence, we're putting out content to try to attract you, right? So I'm kind of chasing. I'm like, hey, I'm here. I'm right here. Like, so I'm not saying you're doing anything wrong.
Yeah. No.
I'm
So
saying, like, I find that too, but then I'll push myself a little bit further and I'll send a text. I did it today. I was like, hey, you kind of ghosted me. We still cool, even if you don't work with me. What's up? Oh man, I've been busy. I'm like,
yeah,
okay, you still want to chat? So, like, for me, I don't like it either. So, like, I think that maybe it's something we should deploy some automation for that actually comes from us. Because I think it's valuable. So I want, sometimes as a buyer, I want to be chased. Like, you want this business? Come on, man, give me some effort. Like, push, let's go.
right,
I think
right.
as a consumer, sometimes I want that.
Right. And I think that that boils down to the framing of chasing versus effective follow-up. Because effective follow-up is a prerequisite. Like we gotta have
You're
some.
saying the same thing there. You're talking about chasing and convincing.
Yeah.
So convincing is something that I don't have time for.
Yeah. Yep. That's what I mean when I say
Let
chasing.
the social media, you look at the social, take social media, like,
Yep.
because I already know I'm right. You know, I don't need to convince you. It's like, all right, but like, you know, I think we're in total agreement now. So, like, yes, I agree. You should not be convincing people that Jesse's the best solution to your business problem.
Right. Yep. That's what I meant. Like I'm not doing that. Like I know what it is that I do, and I know the value that it produces. So in that, it's my responsibility though to establish the framework so that other people have the opportunity to recognize that on their own at their own pace.
You've also developed some level of authority and you have a pedigree. You know,
Right.
What would you say to the starting out person that wants to get into business? Do you think you have to spend some of that time? I think I'll answer it. I think you have to spend some of that time because not to convince people, but to master your craft.
Yes.
And what you're saying. Like, you can't just get it right the first time. Hey man, you should work with me. It's like, you got to be able to handle objections, answer questions, and do what's on the screen. Show people the outcome. And so that first 5 years is developing that. And then once you get to a place where you got that honed in, doesn't mean it can't grow. You always need to be improving. But once you get to a certain level, you're right. It's like, look, I'm not going to convince you. Like, this is where we're at. You know?
That's a fact. That's an absolute fact. So rewinding back to when I first got here to Colorado Springs, and my mind was just in a it was challenging because I know what I do and I know the value of it. So
You've seen companies pay for it.
exactly.
Yeah,
And
it
they
was no question. No
right,
question.
right. And they getting ready to do it again. Like
Yeah.
I'm the same thing that they gonna be I'll be presenting the clients from the firm that I'm contracted with invoices up to $25,000 in 1 week
And
of
they
them
have to write
spending.
those checks to get you in the room.
Absolutely. So when I first got here, like I know that value, but when I first got here to Colorado, it was like how do I get folks to understand that value proposition? And I didn't quite know how to articulate it because prior to the when I showed up as the consultant, that legwork had already been done. So it was a transfer of authority that had already been established.
You were
There
there
were
to
all,
deliver the outcome.
I was delivering it. Absolutely. So that absolutely. So the outcome had already been sold
Yeah.
and my job was to deliver it.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to articulate the outcome really at all. And it took me, so when we first
You
met,
get in the trenches.
absolutely, absolutely. When we first met and you were talking about your online presence, and it was like, bro, I don't know what to fucking say. Cause I tried to do the online thing and it fell flat as hell. So it's
That's
like,
not you're not supposed to use that word. Like you see what happens when you use that word? Fell flat as hell. We just doing it. We doing it. That shit backfired in your face, didn't it?
it did. It did. It did. Like I had to get into the trenches to your point. I had to learn. I had to get into BNI. I had to get into all of these networking groups.
Yeah,
So
you get in there and you smell it, you breathe it. Yeah.
my first 2 years in the city, people was like, yo, I see you in every networking, like you in all of the rooms.
Yeah.
And over this last year, they like, hey man, I don't really be seeing you and like where you at?
You
What's
leveled up.
going on?
You
You
leveled
know,
up.
like I learned my messaging.
Left the
you
room.
know, I didn't have that before. It was just like I know what I do, but I didn't quite know how to package it. And to your point, yes, that legwork has to be done first before we talking about, not putting the cart before the horse. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to do the trench work of understanding, because regardless of how valuable that we know our value proposition to be, if we're not able to articulate it, again, we pissing in the wind.
Yeah.
So and then also there's the component of, because there's the value of what we say about what we do, but then separate from that is what other people say about what we do. And in the process, there are now people that are like evangelists to what Jesse Bullock does and what Bullseye Consulting delivers.
Yeah.
And there's a value proposition that comes along with that. So yeah, man, it all ties together for sure.
I love it. It's
For
been a
sure.
good hour.
And oh shit, golly, bruh.
Hey, dude, I want to put this out in the universe. Like, I know that we're building up our steam here, but I think pretty soon, if y'all keep watching us, we're gonna start bringing in people to interview so we can. Because I like what me and you were saying, but we also got to get some different perspectives in here. It's like
100%
we can't just keep talking inside of this room.
for sure.
We ain't gonna be able to learn nothing. We got to go figure out what people are doing, what's working for them. So when you're ready, like we can put that down the line. But like I'm
No, no,
ready.
no, no. We can make it. So you know how I rock, bro. You mentioned it earlier. So I would say the first thing, let's determine what we want to call our community, and
Okay.
then once we determine what we want to call our community, we immediately put the foot on the gas of bringing people in, and those folks end up becoming a part of our community.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we can do that. We can send the invites and all that stuff and lock it down. Okay. Cool.
I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. So as always, the authority hour is a a dream that was born from Ronnie and I's ambition to build a brand that doesn't require us to be in a room because it's doing the work on its own. And in that, that has cultivated into this continuous dialogue about what it takes to turn our digital footprint into our greatest asset. And we are eternally grateful for those of you who have been on the ride of these business and life shifting conversations, because when done the right way, that's exactly what is delivered.
I'm
Thank
Russell Wilson. Russell Simmons. Thanks for coming out. God bless. Good night. Remember Def Comedy Jam?
Absolutely.